June 21st, 2021. A day that I will never forget. At the time, I was working for a company where I would go to Grand Prairie, Texas, over there by Dallas, in between Fort Worth and Dallas. Not too far from the Cowboy Stadium. But I would go pick up material and I would come back to San Antonio Monday through Friday all the time. I was doing it for about, when this accident happened, it was about maybe 5 years. I was doing it about 5 years already. And I was coming home on 35 East, but I was headed west, but I was on 35 East. And 35 East, of course, not only is there a lot of construction, but there's a lot of hills, right? And so there's 4 lanes. There's 4 lanes. It's a highway, right? 4 lanes. And these 3 lanes, you know, from the fast lane this way, the 3 lanes are going so fast. I mean, they're going fast that I can't even keep up because my truck is was regulated at 68. So people are passing me up and we're just, you know, we're flying. And so I was gonna get into the slow lane, which was the very right, was all the way to the right. So there's a bunch of 18-wheelers. I mean, a bunch of 18-wheelers go to Dallas and Fort Worth and all that area. It's a big hub, right, of warehouses. And so we're going, and, you know, put my blinker. I start going to my right. As soon as I switch lanes, trouble arises. As soon as I switch lanes, there's an 18-wheeler in front of me, and I don't ride trucks or cars or anything. I keep my distance, right? But as soon as I go to the right, the complete right lane is at a complete stop. They're not even moving slow or nothing. A complete stop. So in that moment, me going 68 miles per hour, which is not fast on the highway, but it's fast enough if something happens in the blink of an eye, just like this happened. So in that moment is when everything turned slow motion, and I had to make a decision. I can try to go to my left, but I have 18-wheelers all, you know, flying by, you know, the ones that are not regulated, the ones that are just speeding or whatever, going 75 miles per hour. I have that. So if I go left, then it can be really, really bad, you know, especially even for me or anybody else. I mean, you have a bunch of 18-wheelers crashing. I mean, who knows what can happen. I can go straight on. I could go head on. And I mean, that would probably be the worst case scenario for who's in front of me. Or I can go off the side of the road and not know what's gonna happen, because I don't know how the hill is, what's down there, who's down there, is there any cars down there. All of that went through my mind in that split second, because I like looked to my left, I looked to my right. As I'm doing that, I stomp on the brakes because I had no choice. You couldn't pump your brakes, you couldn't stop. I pushed my brakes, I'm skidding, and then last second I turned the wheel, but I didn't turn in time. I still hit the back of the car. And it's, I mean, in my mind, I thought I ran over the car. That's what I thought, until afterwards I realized I didn't run over the car. I hit the car went flying to the right, and I went off of the highway. And now, of course, because it's an overpass, it's a bridge, the further I went on the side, my truck started going like this. So now I'm riding like this on the side of the highway, the grass. And all I kept thinking to myself was, this is it, this is it, this is it. I kept telling myself, this is it, like, that's it, I'm gonna die. because I remember like holding the wheel so tight and being like this and waiting for the impact, because I had no idea where I was. I had no idea what I was gonna hit. I was waiting for the 18-wheeler to turn over, and luckily enough, it jackknifed, and everything was moving so slow that I was able to look in my mirrors, and I looked in my mirror and I see my trailer just turn over and fall. But my truck stayed upright, and I ended up getting out the truck, and I escaped with nothing, not even a scratch, no bruise or nothing. I looked back at the car and I realized that I already knew it had to be bad. I saw the whole back smashed in, and I saw people over there, and I kind of froze up. I couldn't bring myself to run over there because I knew maybe I was gonna see something that I didn't want to see, and that I can't erase from my memory. So I froze up, and the cop arrives, and he checks if I'm okay, and he says, "Okay, go wait in the cop car. We'll get you right now. We're gonna try to." Because they called it entrapment. Like when you get into a car crash, like the way the car shifts, your doors lock, everything, like that's why they have to use the jaws of life and take off your roof or whatever it is. So then like some time goes by, and then the cop comes and tells me like, "Hey, what happened?" And I was explaining to him like what happened, and that's when he drops it on me that there has been a fatality. And in that moment, I just, you're in shock. You're still in shock from what happened. But then hearing a fatality, it just like sends you can't even think, you can't even talk. So then he places me back in the cop car, because of course now we're gonna have to do questioning. We're gonna have to do all that type of stuff. And I remember the coroner was parked right next to us, and they ended up wheeling the person with a white sheet, and the person had to pass right by me, like right on the right side of my door. And I mean, the trauma, like that you, everything's going through your head, and you're just looking at this person like at the hands of my wheel, like me behind the wheel, this person is not here in the blink of an eye. And so that happens, and I have to see that, right? The mom that was in the front ended up like getting injuries, broken ribs. I mean, she was, she ended up getting really, really injured and having to do probably still going through recovery as we speak. Luckily enough, like her mind, her brain, everything is intact, but she did lose a son. And you fast forward, ever since then, the aftermath, it's been 5 years. It's gonna be 5 years this June. And ever since then, a couple of things have changed in my life. One, I no longer dwell on things. I no longer hold grudges. I don't hold anger. I don't, to me, everything is fine, And sometimes my wife gets mad at me because I don't take things serious. But it's like, what? What for? My life could have ended in that moment. I could have been dead. I could have died. Because what happened to me, and obviously rest in peace to the person in the crash, and There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of that person or that incident. It's always with me. It's always going to be with me. A level of trauma and a level of making sure that doesn't happen again. But I don't take anything serious, and I forgive easily. I just look for, I enjoy the simplest things in life, and that's why me doing these vlogs is who I really am. This is how I really am. I find adventures, I find things to do. Sometimes it don't even cost any money to do or have fun. But that moment to me was a midpoint. Like, there was a life before the crash and there was a life after the crash. And the crazy thing is, after the crash, things got better, but there was also loss. I ended up losing one of my best friends a couple months later. A few months later, or I'm sorry, a year later, I ended up not talking to a close family member, and I still haven't talked to that family member, all because of a disagreement or an argument. I also got to see who checked up on me, who didn't check up on me, who was making sure I was right. I remember my stepdad, Chris, checking up on me, my aunt, Lisa, my mom, maybe one or two friends. But other than that, you know, there was no one else. And I'm grateful for those people, and I'm also grateful to be alive. I wish, if I could redo that situation, I wish I would have jumped off the highway faster. But everything happened within a split second. I mean, to make a decision, I'm glad that I didn't go head on, because there was another 18-wheeler in front of that car. So if I went head on, you know, not only would the mom have probably lost her life also, but it would have been more gruesome. It would have been probably the worst accident you could imagine. And I probably wouldn't have been here either. So I'm I guess if you have to try to look at some type of positive, that's the positive. And that, you know, the months after, I just kept thinking, because I didn't know about the victim until later on when the reports came out. You know, I think he was 20 years old or 21 years old, you know, young kid. And I kept thinking to myself, you know, please don't be, I didn't want it to be a baby. I didn't want it to be like a young, you know, 9 years old. I mean, 21 is young, but it's the crazy things that go in your head, because you're trying to, like, make sure it's not the worst possible thing. And it's just to make yourself feel a little bit better, but it doesn't make you feel better. So this vlog's not super long. So how I deal with life now is I'm constantly paying attention. I drive very safe. If it rains, I'm slowing down to 50, 55. I mean, I'm sorry, go around me. You know, you have those idiot 18-wheelers that be speeding in the rain. I don't get it. Or if it's cold, or if it's freezing, you know, all the time, wherever I go, you know, whenever there's inclement weather, you'll see 18-wheelers on the side. They burned up. They overturned. You know, you hear about it, the fatalities or whatever, and it's just like, slow down, and pay attention. Why are we in a rush? I will miss a load, or I will be late somewhere, just so I arrive alive, because I'm looking out for everybody around me, and I'm looking out for myself. I just don't understand. Some of these 18-wheelers don't understand how, some of these drivers don't understand how dangerous it is. I always knew it was dangerous before this accident, and this accident just solidified why it's so important to do your pre-checks and all that stuff. It's very, very important. But anyways, that's my story. I wanted to share with y'all, and just be safe on them roads. These roads are no joke. You have to respect them. Going fast is not it. Even though I wasn't going fast, even going normal speed, that happened. Don't take these roads for granted. Please be safe, and do defensive driving. Watch what other people are doing, because it's not you that you have to worry about, it's other people you have to worry about. The people that are not paying attention. Maybe they're on their phone, maybe who knows what they're doing. Or maybe they're not wearing glasses and they're supposed to be wearing glasses. There's so many variables. Maybe they have a medical condition and they have their car just starts drifting off. You need to, wrong way drivers, all that stuff. You need to be aware. But anyways, that's my story. I love y'all. That's gonna do it for this vlog. This vlog was pretty long, but I'll see you on the next one. Lift off.